Hey, it's hot in my room. Got a cold pack. Oh. Same bad time, same bad. Well, it's actually a little later today. Got a lot done today. Well, not a lot, but I got everything I needed to get done, which is cool. Not feeling well. Yesterday was a better day than today. Yesterday I was clearer. Um, I didn't feel well at all, but the anxiety was so much less. Today it's on my mind a little more, so that makes it worse. Just because I don't want it to get bad. So, of course, I think about it a little too much. Tomorrow's my 10-year anniversary with my girlfriend. I don't know if she's just not feeling well, but things seem strange. But I could be overthinking it. I could be just kind of paranoid about everything. I'm worried about everything. I, in general, miss her. But it's like I can only do so much, and I feel I'm doing a pretty damn good job of keeping my part of the relationship intact. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't like being worried. I don't like not being confident in my relationship. I want to be confident and know that somebody's going to be there. You know, I don't think that's so wrong. Oh, it's hot in here. Just took a hot bath, which is relaxing, but it's also hot in my apartment. Well, at least it is in my room. This room. My brain's doing some funny shit today. Not like it normally doesn't, just stronger today than it was yesterday. I got a little. It's weird because I got a little stressed out, and yeah, forget it. It just completely crashes on me. Where before that little bit of stress, I would have been totally fine. It just sucks. I literally feel like I'm about 2.5 years set back. Ugh. I know I'm not supposed to really think about it that way and just kind of do my days, but I don't really have a choice. It's how I feel. Symptoms are very reminiscent of then. Some aren't there, and some are new. Whew. Life stress enough is really hard, but when you're in Benzo Remeron withdrawal type shit, it's like it's kind of like I almost think, give me all or give me nothing, because this lingering stuff is bad. I'm like just getting by. Considering how much I hallucinate and my brain does weird shit, I can't imagine going through a huge breakup and moving and all that shit. But who knows? Who knows what will happen? Hey, Who knows? I mean, I'd get through it. It would take some time for my brain to acclimate to a new life, and it would be scary. I'd have to learn some sort of coping skills that let me deal with the stress better, which I wouldn't know what that would be because I've been trying to learn coping skills for the last so many years. And some work, but only to a point, only to make me kind of accept my situation a little more. That's about it. I just don't want to be blind to the situation. My anxiety is definitely worse today. I woke up feeling kind of like I got hit by a truck, but I wasn't shaking or vibrating, which was good. But I felt like yeah, it was just rough getting up and moving. I'm more or less kind of just swimming through my day. Hey, Chris. Hey, Stefan. Just kind of getting through my day little by little. It's more like distract to get through it, just doing my work and stuff like that. I notice on days like this that I start to feel better around 9 o'clock p.m., which is funny because I take my Remeron about 9:30. So it's like that's what kind of tells me Remeron is really a poison for me. I wish I could just jump off of it. It's one thing if I would just suffer from it and I just tolerate it, but it was so horrific the last cut I made that it terrified me and it put me into a spiral. So jumping off the Remeron now would mean that would be like 6 times the cut that I just did. I don't think I'd handle it well at all. It would be devastating. And it's amazing that people get ripped off of medicine, but when you already have a screwed up nervous system from benzos, it's hell. Things do get better in time. I mean, it does have a magical way of healing itself. I mean, I'm firsthand experience, but it's slow, methodical. It's crazy. It's very slow healing. At least for me. Some people not so much. It's not so bad. Really tired today. Don't mind me. I'm just kind of mumbling. Took a short walk with the dog. Not much, but short. Like DPDR is ridiculous. Yeah, Ambien is basically a benzo in disguise. It hits the same receptors. They just don't call them benzos. So it always gets me when people say they got off their benzo, got off benzos pretty easy, but yet they're still on Ambien or one of the Z drugs, which doesn't make sense because then they didn't really get off benzos at all. But yeah, sleeping pills are benzos, basically. Z drugs is what they're called. And if you look up Z drugs, you can find all the sleeping pills and their mechanisms and what they do. I'm trying to think of something fun I can start doing that I don't already do, that doesn't take any brain space, that can distract me. But honestly, I've just overdone everything. And since I can't really do much, it's really I try to take my I try to take my sanity and use it to work to pay the bills. Yeah, it would be the same thing, same withdrawals because it hits the same receptors. So it would be about the same exact thing. It just acts a little differently, but it still hits GABA A. And if you destroy that, same withdrawal, pure hell. So yeah. Yeah, I hate them. Hate puzzles. I had a bunch over COVID time. Stresses me out big time. My mind does not. My mind just doesn't wrap around that kind of stuff. It's going to be really hard to find something that a good hobby that I really enjoy that can, not be so um, sensory type. I mean, it's realistically impossible because it's like I can't move a lot. And when I do, I just get worse. I'm just complaining. I'm not even going to go on. I just keep, at this point, I'm just in a mood where I'm going to say no to everything. I laid down today. Yeah, I tried to go for a walk today, but everything starts going insane. So I can't go. I can't walk too long. I'd like to. It was actually a nice day today. I walked a little bit today with my dog. I take her out 4 times a day, but the last time I took her out at 4 o'clock, um, I walked her around a bit. Nothing much, probably like a quarter mile. I know that's not much, but it's what I did. And when I get home, my nervous system's just on edge. Everything's flashing in my eyes, starting to shake and vibrate. And things start to move. The floor starts moving. It's ridiculous. It makes doing those things really unfun. It just makes my nervous system more sensitized, and I'd like it to heal, and I'm not sure exactly what to do. It's one of those situations. I want it to get as good as it possibly can so I can taper the rest of the damn Remeron, which is just going to be brutal hell, but, I need to get off that stuff. It's going to be a while. But yeah, walking is, sadly, mold is really high now. I'm even walking with a mask on because the allergies are so fucking terrible. My whole histamine channels in my body are totally fucked from the Remeron. So my allergies are absolutely horrendous. So I try to do my best. For a while with the pollen and stuff, the masks were helping so I could get out a little more and take my dog to the park. And I kind of walked around there a little bit. But like now it's been allergies have been better, but the mold is high. And now the ragweed's coming in. So now it's new allergies that my body's not used to until last year. So my body starts to forget. Like right now, my lungs are burning from it. Get a lot of post nasal drip and stuff. Last year it got so bad I started taking Zyrtec. I tried to take Zyrtec to see if I can continually take it, and it made me really sick. Not like now, but well, Remeron isn't really a benzo, but I don't know if you're really saying that. But just to clarify, it was an antidepressant that has a major histamine thing in it. It hits like 31 receptors, which I did not know. It's a pretty heavy drug. At 1.2 milligrams, it's the last pharma drug I'm on. And you'd think I'd be a lot better, but it's kind of like my nervous system is like completely shocked. So it's like if this was my nervous system, this is Remeron. Remeron's like basically doing this to the nervous system all the fucking time, and it will not let it heal. I mean, it does heal, but it's so slow, you know. But I would say, I mean, it's hard because I don't know when I'm going to start tapering it. And I'm only going to taper it 1 gram at a time, as I was before. But I went a little fast last time, and that's what fucked me all up. I if I started tapering in like 4 months, I would say in about any time after I start tapering, it's going to probably be about 2 years. And that's just giving myself 2 months for each cut. Hopefully it'll be quicker than that. But I'm not racing to do it as much as I want to get off of it. I'd rather spend 2 years getting off of it than 4 years because I keep fucking up like I just did. So I know the lower I get on Remeron, the better I'll feel, even though the cuts will be horrendous and I'll have to deal with that. But Remeron to me has just been brutal. And when I updosed it a little bit, which didn't help, so that sucks. That gave me an extra year of tapering. When I updosed it, I could tell. I could really tell. If you're talking about like with liquid, it's the same thing. I cut it. It's the same. You can only go 1 gram. That's the lowest you can go. I was hoping that I could go like liquid and do smaller cuts and just take it longer, but there is no smaller cuts. 1 gram. I can only go 1.2 to 1.1 to 1.0, 0.9 to 0.8 to 0.7 to 0.6. One of those times I'll have to jump off. I'll probably jump off at 0.4 or 0.3 because it depends on my situation. But I think that's titrating, right? It's a liquid. I might have to at the end because I don't know if my scale will weigh that low. But I'll worry about that. I got a while to go. There's the scales don't do it and the measurements for liquid don't do it. So it's always 1 gram is really the lowest. And realistically, it's really fucking slow. I mean, I took 4 years to come off from 7.5 to 1.0, going like 7.5 to 7.4. Like every 2 weeks, I would do 7.3, then 7.2, and just because I was so sensitized by the benzo withdrawal, I couldn't really taper it, but I had to get off of it, so I had to just suck it up and do it, but it had to be really slow. And I thought doing a liquid taper, I thought you could go even less, but no. I asked all my friends who did it, and it's like they do percentages, and it's always more than 1 gram, but I can't handle anymore. Head pressure next. Yeah, it's pretty normal. Head pressure is better for me. I still get it really bad some days, but when I got off benzos, I mean, this was a long time ago now, so bear with me with my memory, but I have a lot of videos on. I'm sure I've got one up available about head pressure, but I remember when I first got off benzos, I had a window of a few months where like I wasn't completely incapacitated and I thought I would still drive a bit, thinking I'd just start to get better. And I remember driving, and this I had horrendous head pressure. I felt like a band around my head, like a headband, and it would just squeeze my head. I remember driving going, "Holy fuck. What's up, man?" I remember saying, "Holy fuck, my head." And honestly, that lasted for a good year and a half. So you might have a little time, but you're coming up. So it might be okay. No, no, I'm not saying I have it now. I'm just kind of asking, replying to Keith. But yeah, that it could be. It's not a headache though. It's completely. I don't know what it is, but it's not a headache because no drugs would help it. It's like this chemical squeeze. I don't know how to explain it, but I had it for about a year and a half, and then it comes on occasionally, and then I didn't have it for the last like 2 years, I'd say. It didn't hurt though, but it was just pressure. But maybe it was. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. All I know is nothing helped it, and it was intense. And I still get it to a point once in a while. I'd rather have pain than pressure, though, because the pressure makes it feel like squeezing, and I fucking hate that. It'll lift, Keith. Just stay on your path, and I don't know your story or nothing, but stay on a healthy path. Try not to take meds. Blah blah blah. If you're tapering something, taper it slow or wait. It all depends on your situation. Yeah, who knows? Could be. Luckily, I don't really get it. I get headaches, but I don't really get that kind of stuff anymore. And that reminds me, I stopped actually. I had a I had a good headache going for about 5 days, like a week or two ago. I don't remember, a little bit ago, and it's gone. I love how things just kind of come and go, and you don't even realize it because there's so many other things happening. My jaw is feeling better. I can cancel my dentist appointment. Thank God. I hate. It's like I was able to start going to those things, but I really don't want to. I'd have to drive 40 minutes to there, and honestly, oh, it's like some days I could pull it off, but it's pretty rare. Yesterday I could have pulled it off. Today, there's no way I would drive 40 minutes. No, I don't. I used to, not in the benzo world. I stopped smoking about 10 years ago. And before that, I didn't smoke for a lot of years. I started smoking again after my divorce, and I smoked for like a year. And before that, I didn't smoke for like another 5 to 10 years. So I mean, I've pretty much been smoke free 20 years. I miss smoking. I am 44. I do not mind you asking. I'm 44 years old. October is my birthday, so it's coming. I'll be 45 soon enough. I expect to be pharma free by 47. That's a ways. Keith, that's one of those questions that I usually shake my head at, and don't take offense to it, but like for me, I could care less about drinking. If I have to weigh what I've gone through versus ever having a drink, fuck drinking. Who cares? I'd rather live a life of health and clear head. I have a lot of mental symptoms when it comes to this, so drinking would never ever help that. But to be kind about your question, there was like a week ago that I was wishing that I'm like, oh man, I want to have a drink. I wasn't going to by any means, and I never will. But I was missing it for the first time in 5 years. I was talking to my girlfriend. I'm like, the last time I had a drink was almost 5 years ago. Jack and Coke at a show. Man, I miss it. Well, some of these days, I'm like, I just want to get hammered. So no, I understand. It's just, you know what? If you're really sick and protracted because of benzos, I mean, what they do say is once you're healed, 2 years after that, then maybe try. But I personally wouldn't. Yeah, it's not going to help you. That's for sure. Yikes. Yeah. You really got to do one at a time. It's hard because realistically, you should have quit alcohol first because benzos would have really helped that. But what's done is done. You'll get there. It's hard. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And I mean, I still to this day I yearn to just be a heroin addict and go into a detox and sit there for a month or two and then go out and live my life again. I've yearned to have cancer or AIDS as well. And that's not funny. Things have been that fucking bad that I wish to have disease. I have friends with HIV and they're living their lives. I don't wish I had cancer. I'm sorry. I shouldn't even say things like that. I think I get so depressed and so down about how horrible this is that it's like I can't do anything. But I would much rather be a cokehead or a meth head. Well, meth heads are pretty fucked up. Maybe not. I don't know. Meth heads can clean up pretty quick though, if they want to. I mean, hence why doctors don't believe what I've gone through. And I guess I don't blame them. It doesn't happen to enough people. They just think it's some sort of mental disorder, and I need to get it. I need to go to the psychiatrist to fix it. What a mess that is. If I didn't have the DPDR so much, and I've had it most of my life, don't get me wrong. Oh man, you should have been here right before I answered that. Because it would probably kill me. Or I'd kill myself. When I cut from 1.0 to 0.8, and then I cut from 0.8 to 0.6, and everything went to hell, I almost killed myself. Like, it was absolutely terrifying. So if I cold turkeyed 1.2 milligrams, that would be like 6 times of what, no, like 5 times of what I just did 4 months ago. The cut I made 4 months ago destroyed me. And the fact that my nervous system is so fucking shot from the benzos in the first place, the Remeron, I can barely handle that. I can barely handle it. I wish, man. I fucking wish. I think about it every fucking day. Like, why can't. The thing is, I have to work. And I work for myself, so I can kind of do things on my own. I have to go out, though. I have to get into a car. If I cold turkeyed, maybe it wouldn't be, maybe it would be horrid, but maybe it wouldn't be as bad as I think. But I can't take that chance because after what happened 4 months ago, and I'm still dealing with, and it's probably going to deal with for a long time to come. Absolutely terrifying. I'm not a suicidal person at all. I like my life. I like the things I do. I'm happy. I'm not being sick, but I'm happy with where my life is. And That shit took me to a fucking level that I couldn't handle. Literally contemplating my own death. I cried and cried and cried about it. Like, is this really it? Is this really it? Luckily, I'm not getting the severe depression every day anymore. So that's calmed down. My head's still a total mess from it, but it's coming in waves. Like all of last week was absolutely terrible, but yesterday was much better. Today's a little worse. I'm going to go through the waves and stuff. I'm going to go through the terrible waves. I'm telling you though, but your comment about jumping off the Remeron, I mean, it hits me. It hits me deep, man. I'll tell you, because I was cold turkeyed off the benzos, and I'm still really sick from benzo being protracted. I don't want to do another 5 years. I might do it anyway, but I don't want to do a severe 5 years again. Because will I be able to handle doing all this without taking more meds? I feel I could, but like, I don't want to get so sick that I fall in the trap of doctors. Because I'm close to it. I'm close to it. I never felt good, Keith. I mean, 4 months ago, I fucked up the Remeron, but 4 months ago, I was off benzos for about 4 years and 5 months or something like that. And I still struggled a lot. I just started driving 40 minutes away after 5 years, almost 5 years. I just started seeing people again once in a while. So, but I didn't feel good. I still had a long time to heal. I don't know why my body is so fucked up and my nervous system is such trash. I was only on benzos for 3 months. I'm not going to tell the whole story now, but it literally almost killed me. The shit it did to me was absolutely. I have heavy anxiety, but mental and physical now. When I got off benzos, the physical was pretty strong, only for about 6 months. And then that kind of, I mean, I had physical the whole time, but the mental has always been my worst symptoms. I can do anything if my mental symptoms are better. No matter how hard the physical is, I can still think. But my mental gets pretty bad. So, and it wasn't until after I fucked up the Remeron until I had the insane anxiety. So now, but the anxiety was for the first while I had a chemical anxiety after the benzo, so it wasn't the same anxieties I have now, but it was like this chemical anxiety, and it was brutal. It was scary. I don't have that now, but I do have a bad anxiety issue, which definitely makes my symptoms much worse. If I can get my anxiety under control, which I can't, if I did, things would be probably 30 or 40% easier for me because I could tolerate everything better. I wouldn't be so scared all the time. Yeah. I think I'm going to head off here. 2 seconds. Two stories. Well, after I fucked up the Remeron, I got to 0.6, and I thought by updosing that it would help me. So I went to 1.2. So yeah, that's it. I thought it would help. It did not help. So I was close to being off. Even though most people look at 1.2 as being pretty close to being off, for me it's not close at all. So yeah. But yeah, I just updosed it thinking it might help because it wasn't a benzo. I knew better. Like if it was a benzo, I wouldn't updose it. But I thought the Remeron, since I was going through such raging withdrawals, but then I've realized that it wasn't all just withdrawal. It was a lot of it was just a major shock to my nervous system from being too much of a cut and too fast. So even though I updosed, didn't fucking matter. And you have to wait to see if it's going to work. So by the time you wait, then you're already dependent on that dose. So you're like, fuck it, you know? Yeah. All right, I'm heading off. I mean, I'm glad I got to answer some questions, but yeah. Hey, well, I take a little offense to it, but it's one of those things that I almost thought it was life or death. It was so fucking terrifying. I was so fucking sick, and I was going by, I couldn't really think for myself to decide what to do. It's like I could have stayed on where I was after I made those cuts, or I could have updosed a little bit and felt a lot better. Now, personally, if I still felt like this and I didn't updose, I'd always wonder if I updosed, would I be a lot better right now? So either way, I'd be screwed. But yeah, I mean, now I think about it after the fact. Oh yeah, I would have never fucking done that. But there's not people around me that has that kind of support to say, no, just stay where you're at. I don't care what you go through. Stay where you're at. Just suck it up, and we'll get through it. Nobody was telling me that. People were telling me, how you gonna work? You know, it's always like this. How you gonna work and get shit done? It's fucking ridiculous. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's always going to be one of those bonehead moves I'll think about for sure. That's the way it goes. But it's funny. I only take a little offense to it, just a little. I won't put it against you. But yeah, I've made a lot of issues. You know, I've done a lot of stupid shit. I mean, no matter what I've done. I mean, taking the benzos in the first place, somebody would tell me that was stupid. If um, going to the psychiatrist in the first place, somebody would have said that was stupid. I mean, no matter what, I've already made the mistakes. So, what are you going to do? I make mistakes, and there's really not much support out there to make me know otherwise. I've done so much research, but I'll never know it all. And a lot of people like to talk to me like I'm a doctor because I've been through it. And I don't mind supporting and stuff, but I always say, look at me. I have fucked up so many times. So take my take what I say with a grain of salt. All right, I'm getting off here. That was a fun conversation. I appreciate the questions, and the last one was great, though. It does suck, but yeah, I almost wish I could like take that comment and frame it because it's funny. No, not really. Not really. I mean, somebody'd have to pay me, I mean, it's just not going to happen. I don't make that much money, to make it happen. I'm only paying half the bills, so actually probably a little more than that, but it's near impossible. My girlfriend helped me a big time when I got off benzos, and I can't have her do another 3 years of her life, running my business, going out and getting shit while I'm at home working 10, 12 hours a day just because I'm sick. I don't know. I don't even know what to do. If I become way more debilitated, then I'd probably have to start thinking about doing something. I'd have to say, hey, why don't you help me? And we'll figure it out. I don't know if it couldn't be the same as it was 5 years ago, but we'll see how I am when I start tapering again. Who knows? All right, guys. You guys take care. I'll be on probably tomorrow. Later.